Hello, and welcome to Real and Virtual Outdoors. On today's episode, we'll be in Fishing Sim World on Lake Arnold, flipping bass jigs on standing trees. On the screen is a lake map. The orange circle is where I'm located. Hello, everybody. Let's make the first cast. We're going to pitch on some trees today with one of my favorite baits, a black and blue swim jig. I believe it's called the sledgehammer. Uh, we're just going to pitch that out there and let it fall back and try to hang up on a couple of these mouths down here. There's a fish on right off the bat. One thing I'll tell you about fishing these jigs around these tree stumps, you need to let that jig fall on a tight line. When you pitch that out there, virtually or in real life, you need to take up the slack on that line. If you have a lot of slack in that line, that fish hits it on the fall, you're gonna miss the fish. There's a spotted bass. Good way to start. We're gonna get him back in, and then we're gonna give it another pitch, see if we can't maybe land another fish out of this same exact spot. One of the things that I'll tell you about fishing this way is that I have the reel speed turned up on 4, if you notice on the left side, right above the yellow line. 5 is the highest reel speed. I like to put it on 4, and then I like to just kind of pulsate that reel in button, which is L2 on your PlayStation 4 remote. I just kind of tap it, just kind of bump it along. I want that jig to kind of bump up off the bottom, but I want to try to stay in contact with that bottom and let it bounce up and down off the bottom. I stumbled onto this technique, and it's really worked good for me, and I enjoy fishing this way. I've caught a lot of fish right here in this area, and up north of here, there's going to be a slew of trees to pitch on. You could fish for an hour or two just pitching trees back and forth through here. There's a strike, and we get a perfect strike. We have a fish on. We're going to bring him in, and let's see what we've got here. I have the Johnny Morris rod and reel, 25-pound test around these stumps. Sometimes you get a little light line around this, you get too close to the tree, it will break it off. So we're going with the Johnny Morris rod and reel with 25-pound test. There's a nice fish. That's going to be a bigger spot. I really enjoy catching these spots. They do fight hard. Okay, we'll pitch out in that same spot again. See if we can't land another one. If you missed the intro, there was a map of the lake with an orange circle drawn on the map. That is the general area that I'm fishing. It's not a perfect illustration, but it'll get you close up here where you can find the trees, and then you can kind of go from there on your own. Also, I want to talk about the fact that Bassmasters 2022 for Dovetail Games have come out. They've actually introduced a waypoint system, which I think is great. You're going to be able to mark spots, and you're even able to write and text notations about spots, so you can find those spots a lot easier without having to map like I have been doing with this game. Let's hit a different tree here, see if we can get a hit. Keeping that line tension. bouncing the jig off the bottom, trying to stay in that constant slow retrieve. There's a strike. This fish is pulling a little bit more than the last two. In that clear water, I can see he's different color. I believe this is going to be a smallmouth. The smallmouths on this game are fun to catch. They are extremely hard fighters, virtually and in real life. We're going to take our time with him, even though we've got 25-pound test. We don't want to lose this guy. He is putting up a battle. He is really giving us a fit. Nice little jump there. We do a good job on the animations on these games. With the bass jumps and the fight time. And he's in the net. And that is over 10 pounds. That is again on that sledgehammer black and blue jig. I'm going to make another pitch or a cast. It's really a little further than I like to pitch, but we're going to throw it out there again. Means we just caught a 10-pounder. I think it gives a good chance to catch another one. Same technique, strike, a perfect strike again. This is going to be the second one out of this spot. I really enjoy this way to fish. I'm going to be sharing some other tips, techniques on this game. I'm going to be trying to show you some other ways that you can catch fish. Something maybe that you hadn't seen, that you haven't come across. And I tell you, one of my favorite ways to fish on these fishing sim worlds with spoons. I think the spoon is an all-around great bait. It'll catch just about anything that's got fins in this game. Sometimes you can really get tied up with some good fish, and you never know what you're going to catch. It's kind of like got an opportunity to catch just about anything that's in here. I've caught some great pike and things, and hopefully we'll get some of those things on film for you to see. And I can help you with your spoon fishing, try to improve that. We're going to land this fish as soon as we can. He's not as big as the last one, but he's a good one. I believe that's going to be a largemouth. Same jig. It's hard to get away from that black and blue. I really love it. Okay, we're going to make another cast here. And that fish hit that on the fall. If you would like, you could rewind that. That never made it to the bottom. And that's what I mean by keeping that line tight when those jigs are falling. If I'd had a slack line there, that fish would have probably got off. I certainly would not have got a good hook set. If you get a poor strike on this game, chances of landing that fish is very small. giving us a little jumping show. He's fighting a little harder than he should. He's not all that big, but yeah, I think that's going to be another largemouth. No, that is a smallmouth. That's a 7-pounder. If I was fishing an online tournament right now, I'd be doing pretty good. We're going to make another cast or two. I hope you will subscribe to Real and Virtual Outdoors. I started this channel merely to have some fun. I hope that I show you some content that you enjoy. It might help your video game play, might help your real life fishing game. We're going to be doing some lure making, jig tying. We're going to be talking about some different type of lures, things that I catch fish on. I hope that you will subscribe to Real and Virtual Outdoors. That's the end of this one. Thank you for being a part of it, and good night.